Give it a few more minutes.
We are live on Black Power Radio. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have an action-packed show. And here is our revolutionary of the night, Minister Paul Scott. He is here. Thank you so much, Scott. How are you? How are you feeling today?
Let me be clear. Y'all are the revolutionaries. I just watch you all.
Oh, we can barely hear you. Like I don't know what's going on with the volume tonight.
But it is indeed a pleasure to be on the panel with all you all. Is the audio better now?
Just a little bit. Yeah, I think it's my phone. I might have it.
Mm-hmm. I hear you well, Brother Paul. I think I hear everybody real well. Can you hear me?
Go.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. I guess I better take. Do I need to take the lead? Well, first of all, I gotta show respect.
All right, so we're gonna open up.
Oh, go ahead. Excuse me. Go ahead, sister.
All right. We're just doing some technical cleanup here. But again, welcome to Black Power Radio. So grateful to have you here with us. I am your co-host. Your friendly neighborhood policy analyst, MOJ, Dr. Truth Bay, with Queen Janae Nzinga. And the Million March, the 26th anniversary, coming up September 5th and 6th, working together to collaborate with like minds, with revolutionaries, activists, to give 100% of our resources, time, and income for the betterment in the future of our babies. So before we begin, say thank you for joining us every Sunday and Monday. We're right here on Busy One Network and Black Business Matters. So if you haven't downloaded the app, download Busy One Radio so you can actually hear us live, and Busy One Entertainment. So shout out to Barry Cobb and the crew for women empowerment. We're going to play Ciroc and Forever. Right when we're getting this set up, we do want to give a shout out to our current guests that we'll be interviewing later on this day. And that is Minister Paul Scott, as well as Brother John Kemet Shabazz. So thank you for being here with us on Black Power Radio.
Pleased to be here.
Honored to be here, sister.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. All right, family. So let's queue up. Share screen.
All right.
Oh dear, we got some technical difficulties.
Yeah, we're having a little technical difficulties. Reload it for me, please.
All right.
Okay.
Bless you, Mom. Okay, here we go.
When I wake up, no makeup, half naked, I feel like I'm the shit. Pardon my language, but hang up do not define the kid. No, I'm not flawless, I'm scarred up and I'm fine with it. My body are the laundry list of all of life's kindnesses, but I still sip tea and chant om and live free, cause hardships and heartbreaks turn to rap epiphanies. And mom told me stay woke, cause all gold ain't glistening. Choose your words wisely, cause the all knowing's listening. But no worries, I'm Gucci, my thighs are little juicy, my dialogue, little awkward, my idols still move me. My life is a movie, like Raheem and Mookie. I'm just trying to do the right thing, hope that it improves me. My bamboos are custom to me, you'll be soon accustomed to me. This tomorrow, I got royal hemoglobin coursing through me, and my strength is now inhuman. I get that straight from my Omi. Sign this silver mouth, the grill of yours and truly. You better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you are. I ain't get here overnight. I was in that mirror like 4-5 times a week on my Mile Beach reciting affirmations like holy rites, and I still don't know everything. But I guess confessions from 8x11s and studio sessions seem like it's only right. And trust me, this my theory, fuck your couch. Finna murk all these Murphy types, funny styling me, shut your mouth. Touch me, I'm slaughtering crews, squads, goons, teams. The queen is coming to rule your region, coming for all of your asses, plus your house. I ain't always have it in me, no titles for pretending. I was 14 years old, forcing pills down my throat, so my baby fat diminished. Still got these scars from cutting my wrist when I thought the life was finished. Now they remind me what my lows look like, now I know the sky's the limit. Okay, never claim to be perfect, that's an impossible dream. I'm just saying that I'm worth it, that's the responsible thing. Spent half my life trying to find my life from outside sources, why the only voice that mattered came from me. You better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you are. When rock go in, she too aggressive, that's too masculine. And her content, no too obsessive, just relax a bit. She say she got, that's narcissistic, just the facts of it. Now I don't really F with female rappers, that's just sacrilege. Glad I learned early not to internalize every income. Daddy told me with every opinion there comes a sphincter, and they would rather she them thoughts than popularize a thinker. Why them lying archetypes is chasing cat, I'm trying to sphinx her. Rap arrows in caramello apparel, mainly vintage. Meryl composer, warrior, so every verse became a vengeance. Went through too much hair to not be fine, but they still feigning ignorance. So now I came to click my just do it remaining interest. Baby, I'm a star without the flash fame of Fenty. Came out the doctor up the entire game upon my entry. Kept it 100, messed around and gained another century in this. Now I'm aiming to pop off till my mental chamber's empty. I'm unbothered, your standards is irrelevant. I might F around and rock a body, all this for the hell of it. They've been trying to martyr me for ages cause my melanin. So now I'm soaking UV rays with shaking slathered on my adamant. My dude, I'm magic, my game is God is my mood. It's savage, that's game, it's Connie's my moves. And mountains, my range, astonishing dangerous. Signs like rain and comets, they blazing. Trails through planets, all hell is kind of amazing. That's right, we'll call this self-love. Discovered I was dope with endo like I'm scale drugs. And you could call me arrogant and that's gonna help love. But if you trying to knock me down, your demolitions fell, bruh, fell, bruh, fell, bruh. You better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever, cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you are.
That's right.
All
Don't
right.
you ever forget, my sister. You are so damn fine just the way you are. That's our woman empowerment video. And we also want to focus on our Black men, our fathers, who we love so very much. We honor you, Black man. We honor you for who you are in the community. And this one is for you. Welcome to Black Power Radio, right here on Busy One Entertainment.
All right.
No need for fame, black fathers are legendary. Watching he got game coming from the hood, often misunderstood, but still, black fathers are necessary. Fighting the penitentiary as well as the cemetery. Only right I wrote a song made for my brothers. And whether or not you get along with your baby mothers, our babies love us, our babies need us. He just might be that black father, the baby Jesus. More precious than a stone from Sierra Leone. That's a child of a black father, the heir to the throne. Before mine and the diamond and the dirt don't come out shining, they come out muddy. Babies born bloody before the huggies and onesies, birth from the black essence. So it's a natural for a black father to lack presence, there to provide lessons when babies ask questions. To guide them through imperfections, doubts and transgressions. To teach a foreign language about their ancestors. To read body language, face and hand gestures. To love their body image, hear strand textures. Learning instruments, jam sessions and band lessons. Car seat buckle ups, teaching them boxing uppercuts. More to manhood than muscle ups and busting nuts. More to childhood than Donald Duck and double Dutch. Nothing can replace a father's love and mother's touch. No need for fame, black fathers are legendary. Watching he got game coming from the hood, often misunderstood, but still, black fathers are necessary. Fighting the penitentiary as well as the cemetery. Only right I wrote a song made for my brothers. And whether or not you get along with your baby mothers, our babies love us, our babies need us. He just might be that black father, the baby Jesus. To mothers who stand in the way of fathers and their children, then go say he left them abandoned like a building that's tore up from the floor to the ceiling. Paint peeling, I ain't feeling women who find joy still in the joy of a father, not letting his boy see him, or the joy of his daughter, whose dad is a loyal supporter based on a court order. Filthy, you need Florida water and a bush bath. You despise his eyes, despise his mustache. Shout out to the fathers walking the good walk, good path. Every child need a father for a good talk, good laugh. Why make a good dad look bad for a child support check if he absent with welfare at your doorstep? Had him locked, ain't feel remorse yet. Pour sweat, nightmares like a war vet. A karma catching you slipping, floor sweat. Do your mom's babysit? Sadly, a nanny can't replace a daddy's place in the family. No need for fame, black fathers are legendary. Watching he got game coming from the hood, often misunderstood, but still, black fathers are necessary. Fighting the penitentiary as well as the cemetery. Only right I wrote a song made for my brothers. And whether or not you get along with your baby mothers, our babies love us, our babies need us. He just might be that black father, the baby Jesus. Black fathers are legendary, let's call names. LeBron James, not cause he called plays or win ball games, or can take it to the hole or shoot long range, because he take care of home beyond just suits and Balmains. Robert Nesta Marley, you can never discredit. Died young but left a legacy his children inherit. With them in spirit, El Hajj Malik, MLK. Create fear how a black father could be here now, dead next day. Bow heads, let's pray for the fathers turned martyrs. George Washington, Carvers and Marcus. Black soil covers the carcass. Black fathers never die, they multiply like the square root to pi. Same rules apply if you shoot shine or wear suit and tie. The line of work don't define the worth of you and I. Never saw my pops work for another man. A mentality I don't expect this world to understand. No need for fame, black fathers are legendary. Watching he got game coming from the hood, often misunderstood, but still, black fathers are necessary. Fighting the penitentiary as well as the cemetery. Only right I wrote a song made for my brothers. And whether or not you get along with your baby mothers, our babies love us, our babies need us. He just might be that black father, the baby Jesus.
Right on, right on. And that's dedicated to our Black fathers. So thank you again, family, for joining us here on Black Power Radio. We got a couple of artists that's coming on the scene. I don't know if Queen Renee Denisha Rivers is here from Music for the Culture. But we have an action packed field show today with one of probably the most important interview for the end of this year coming up with a historic gentleman, Minister Paul Scott. And we're going to also chat with Brother John Kemet Shabazz. So I'm here, Dr. Truth Bay. I'm your co-host, your friendly neighborhood policy analyst with Queen Janae, hosted right here on Black Power Radio. Welcome, family. It is December 1st.
Hi. Well,
We got 30 more days for this year.
uh,
What's going on? Let's talk about it. Are we happy that this year is ending? It is a year of trauma, year of triumph. What did we look forward to in 2025? So those who are on the stage and panelists, introduce yourself to our Black Power audience because we want to hear from you. So who do we have here on the stage with us this evening?
well, I'll go ahead and since I'm late, I'm sorry. I had to reschedule last time because I was sick. I'm a little raspy, but I'm a new artist coming up in Louisville. I was born in Indianapolis, but I've been here, born and raised most of my life. I came up referred by a friend to come on this show with Queen of the Beats with Renee. And I do a little bit of singing and rapping. I'm 22. I'm very new in the game, so this is all very brand new. Like this is just all out the blue. Just hit me out of nowhere. I don't even have a song released yet, but it's coming on December 4th. So there will be three of them, and I'm gonna sing one of them tonight.
Right on, right on. You may be new to this. You're not new to this. You're true to this. Is that right?
Yeah. It's
Right.
my, but you know what I'm saying. I feel like if there's anything I can do, this is it.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
I will also be.
All right. So that must be Noel.
Yes, I'm Noel. I will also be performing in the December 7th parade for Kentucky too, for Christmas. You know, I wrote a little Christmas song for that, but that's a little surprise.
All right. I'm John Kemet Shabazz.
Hi.
How you doing, sis? And I'm out here in Morgantown, West Virginia. And I'm with WV Black Unity Coalition. And I think I'm going to get a chance to be able to talk to my colleague Paul Scott tonight on get an opportunity to archive his history and connect it with hip hop. So I'm gonna yield the floor and let somebody else talk. But I can't wait to be able to start asking him questions.
Well, thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sis. Sister Truth Bay. Sister Truth Bay. I think she put me. Is she still there? Sister Truth Bay? I think she put me in the
She
spot.
may have slipped out because these systems haven't been perfected yet. So in the meantime, we'll just keep on with the introduction of everybody else on the stage now, so we can move from left to right. So whoever's next on the stage, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Indeed, Truth Minister Paul Scott, honored to be on this distinguished panel. I am Minister of Information for the Durham, North Carolina-based Black Hoodie Brigade. It's an honor to be here.
Honor to have you. Nice to meet you.
You as well.
Hey, salute everybody, Black Power. I'm Raheem Shabazz. I represent Do for Self Family Corporation and also New Black Panther Party for Self-Defense out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Also representing Hampton, Virginia. We're here representing the youth. We're here mobilizing the youth, representing General Janae out of Washington, D.C. and Sister Truth Bay, MOJ. And General Akbar, National Director. Basically, we're trying to mobilize the youth from D.C. to Philadelphia Pennsylvania, New York. We're having a Million Youth March. It's September 2025. So if you know anybody with poetic talent, open word.
Hi,
Hold
I'm
up, they
on the
introducing
show and I'm
today.
off the
Hold on.
stage. Where is Janae?
Young folks are still introducing themselves.
Yeah, basically, if y'all know anybody, bring them on board. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You know what I'm saying? And it's basically
Woo,
kind of
Yes.
family. Lord have
go ahead,
mercy. I done
baby.
missed the
Go ahead.
boat. Listen, let me tell you something, family. The devil's a lie, I tell you. So
He's
while I
working
was still
full
on
time.
stage, for
Don't sweat
some
it. Keep
reason,
working.
this yeah. So what happens is sometimes we get booted off and we don't know. So I'm
I
sorry,
filled them
family.
in.
Oh
We still
no.
gonna continue on with the
I
show.
told them what was going
We're
on. I
gonna
just
keep
took over for a short
building
absence you
upon it,
had. I told them to be
moving
right back.
forward.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So thank you. Thank you again. So last we left was Sister Noel, I believe is here to
Yeah.
perform, and our revolutionary brother that we're going to interview later on during the show, Minister Paul Scott. I'm so grateful to be here amongst the divine, New World Warrior, Brother Raheem. Who else is on this stage? If you want to introduce yourself, we're waiting for Renee and Brother Elijah. Is he back on the stage?
Oh, I'm on
Okay,
here.
so
I'm
while we're
on here, guys.
waiting
I've been with
for
him with you, yeah.
other comrades,
Okay. That's Renee.
It keeps kicking me out. I'm here.
okay, so while we're waiting for other comrades, again, I want to say thank you for coming on
Thank you.
Black Power Radio. So we're here every Sunday and Monday from 8 to 5 p.m. Pacific, giving you the most informative Black news and information that you need to continue on the work. And so this year we're finishing off. We got about 3 more weeks to Black Power Radio to really do a countdown, family, on how we're going to mobilize our people for the generation of 2025. So first and foremost, we have the Million Youth March that's coming up. Is September 5th and September 6th. This is honoring of the original Million Youth March in 1998 with Dr. Khalid Muhammad, who took forth the reins to really mobilize and organize the people in Harlem, New York, to honor our Black youth. And for that, we want to pay homage to him in his spirit. And we also want to give a shout out to No Limit Records and Master P for financing the original Million Youth March. And so we want to make sure that we recreate this platform for our youth and put a little spin in 2025 and beyond. We want to make sure that future lawyer, that artist, that entrepreneur, that doctor, whatever they wish to be, we want to make sure that there is handed to them on a civil platform. What is it that our future, what is it that our future, what does our future look like here for Black America? Oh, when we unpack that interview, it's going to be very detailed. Shame the controversy, nonetheless. So we look forward to again. We're really excited, Minister Scott, for you to be here. So thank you again for joining us. But right before then, who is worthy enough to perform live with a couple of named celebrities. We're not going to name them now, but all throughout the show, you come and join us every week, and then you'll get the inside scoop on the performances that we will hold September 5th and 6th in Washington, D.C. It's going to be some heavy hitters, family. So just stay tuned. And if you'd like to perform, who have exceptional talent, those who have music, please send them in right here to Black Power Radio. You can also send in your media links as well. Or if you want to nominate yourself to perform, you'd be right here on the stage every week in our Artist Spotlight. We are so grateful for Jasmine, Soulful Jazz. Oh my gosh, she dropped the mic, family. When I tell you, she's just freestyling and speaking about kingdom business. And we also had Brother Uhuru that joined us as well with a wrap of kingdom business as well. So well. And so we look forward to hearing new music, so much talented music to really uplift the soul. So as we know, family, language and knowledge, one of the fifth elements of hip hop, probably the most important element of hip hop, has been taken out of hip hop for so long, and instead has been indoctrinated with music. And so we want to take take back the minds of our young people through the very medium that has caused so much death and destruction, and it's through music. So music, record producers, black-owned record producers, independent artists. It's a call to action to come to the table. We definitely want to hear the vibrations of righteousness ring throughout. And on September 5th and 6th, we look forward to seeing you perform and move forth to building that state-of-the-art studio. That's exactly what our young people need. That's what they're requesting. That's where their talent are. That's where the talent is. Generation Z, this is their teacher. This is their teacher. So we got to get back to where they are. Social media, TikTok, Instagram, and all that nonsense that we keep scrolling on for hours on day. Unfulfilling videos that can inundate the mind. But what we want to do is utilize that very same platform to indoctrinate our youth in righteousness. So please, if you're interested in joining the Million Youth March, September 5th and 6th, please do so and submit your work, or just log on to Black Power Radio on how you can be part of it. Listen to on round two. I believe we have two artists that we're going to listen to today. One hailing from Indianapolis,
Indianapolis, yeah.
I believe is that Mr. Cole. Is Mr. Cole in the building? Oh, how many times I
Noel.
keep messing up your name, Sissy Pooh?
It's okay.
Missy.
It's fine. It took me a minute to get it
All
to.
right. Yes, ma'am. So tell us a little bit about Noel. Where did that musical inspiration come from? What exactly is your stamp or legacy you'd like to leave for our audience?
I just want to, I mean, the biggest thing, I don't care about the accolades or anything like that. The biggest thing I want to be, music is, it's always been in my soul. Since I was a little bitty child, that's just been my thing. That's just been, if you want to ease my mind, if I want to ease my mind, it's just music's going to do it. But I feel like, as far as like what I want to leave behind, I want to share a message like that the world, we were not meant to be here to be struggling with our minds like this. There is arts in this world, and there's peace in this world, and there's beauty in this world, and music is a really great way to express that. So that's where my inspiration comes from, what I want to
Yes, ma'am.
give out.
So what kind of category of artists? What genre
I would
do you
say I
perform?
like a little thing. I like to rap. I started rapping about like 4 or 5 years ago. I was like, let me see if I can, because I've always done poetry. I've always wrote. Writing is just, that's just mandatory for me. But then singing, obviously from the time I could write, I could sing, all that, whatever. And for a long time, I struggled finding my sound. I mean, I was inspired by Erica Badu, India Arie, Jasmine Sullivan, Etta James. A lot of times, Aaron Neville, old type, very old school, I would say. So, when I finally found my sounds, like what feels good to me when I sing, it came out a little jazzy, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm a jazz singer. And when I thought started, comprehending that, I was like, well, is anybody gonna accept that? Is jazz even in? And you know what I'm saying? So I went through a lot of ups and downs going through, especially also wanting to rap as well. And and wanting to practice and perfect my
Okay.
craft and all that, So I call myself, like somebody said something about a sapper. I call myself a ringer, a rapper and a singer. But my natural tone is jazz. I like to just flow on a beat. That's where I'm at. Flow on some saxophone, on some orchestra music. Like, yeah, that's me.
Right on. Performing for us this evening.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. Just had a delay in that. Yes, you can finish up, darling. We just had a delay in the question. questioning. So, what are you going to perform for us today, this evening?
I am not as prepared as I should be, and I apologize for that. I already had to reschedule, but I will just, if it's okay, if I perform something live, something that I'm releasing on the 4th. Give me just one moment.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you, sister, for joining us.
Thank you.
We Janae, look, we
All
got the
right.
gap thing going on.
Hey,
Yes. What's
Janae,
the title of this song
Black Power.
that you're going to perform?
It's called Serenity.
What happened? Mute yourself,
All
please.
right.
Everybody mute yourself so she can hear. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Black Power.
Yes, I can hear you. I'm actually struggling to even. This was so sprung. I had time to reschedule and everything, but I mean, I can just.
Just sing it a cappella. You have a
Okay.
beautiful voice, Noel. That's how I met you. Remember the first time you were on stage and you was like, I've never performed before. Hey, we family. So you got a beautiful voice, a beautiful spirit, and natural. And God has, man, He's doing some amazing, wonderful things with you. And please, just show Him your spirit. You got this.
Okay. All right. There's one that this is the one that I first
Right
sent
on.
her, and it's kind of like right on cue. I wish on a shooting star, wishing I could get to Mars. I I wish on a shooting star, hoping I could get to Mars. Maybe I miss my calling. Baby, I feel like I'm falling. I'm falling in love with the ooh, ooh, yeah, and then I got a little more, but that's what I got for that. I'm sorry, y'all.
Bravo Zulu, Bravo Zulu. Salute,
Yeah,
salute, salute.
yeah,
That was beautiful.
Thank
Beautiful.
yeah.
I should
Beautiful.
have made way more prepared. I just got home from a family event.
Right
My
on.
fine. No excuse to be made, but I wanted to at least be able to give y'all something.
All right. Thank you for that. That
Yes,
was
and
beautiful.
something you don't give us. We thank you again for that. We want you to come on either tomorrow or next week, December 8th. And I love it. So I want to get some feedback from our people on the stage right now. I think she got an
Let,
it factor.
let her
I think
come
she
on
got an
every
it
week
factor.
and
Oh,
open up just like
Oh,
that.
thank you.
yes,
Every
yes.
week. Like
And
I
that's
was really
beautiful.
I'm
the
thank you for
beauty
that.
about it is when you are in your
She got a
Black
delay.
Power. This is New World. Sister Noel.
Yes,
Word of advice from an old musician.
form
Don't worry
of
about the pigeonholes, little sis. You don't have to label yourself as anything. Just be a musician. All of the
thank
rest of it will
you so
come.
much for
The
that. Thank you
pigeonholes are
so much.
just stereotypes that they cause you to want to fall into. Don't fall for it. Just be. That's
Yes,
it.
that's what I mean, and I also do spoken word. I wrote a poem about this because, like, I was being
right on,
asked in
right
who
on.
are you? Like, who do you want to become? Like, who are you trying to
All
represent? And
right.
like, I kind of have a different style. Every time you see me, I may look a different way, but I think it's just because like I wrote a poem about wanting to be like. I mean, I'm everything. I believe that everybody is everything. Music is everything. Art is everything. So for you to say that, that means a lot. It comes to the heart. I don't have to label myself because this is just what it is. I'm
This is
music.
what
We're
society
music.
requires of us. You don't have to be a slave. Be free. in spite of all the BS that they bring. Be free in spite of them. Go tell them to go. Tell them all to go to hell and just be the
Amen.
light God put you to be and shine anyway.
I hear
Black
that. Thank
power,
you
black
so much.
power. Right
I
on.
struggle with that. Y'all made me feel very comfortable. Like this is a very supportive space. So I will definitely come on way more prepared next time as well. I've got a videographer, photographers now. I'm working on things like that, getting more, professional with it so I can really show you what I got. And I really appreciate the feedback. Thank you so much.
All
Yeah,
right.
what's going on now? This
Angie,
radio show.
please.
Keep it up.
Okay. We have more than
Right
two
on.
people on the stage. So if you are done, you can exit and we will see you Monday night. Okay.
All righty. Thank you
All
guys.
right. Thank
Bye.
you so much,
Guys.
beautiful. Good night.
Good
Bye.
night. No, I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.
That's right. So before that, all right, Sister Noel, thank you so much. And this is our fourth artist that we have debuted. So who will be the best? 75 artists will be the finalists to perform live September 5th and 6th at in DC for the 26th year anniversary of the Million Youth March. So we have some of the artists that came through. Sister Denisha, Sister Renee Unique, Music for the Culture, Sister Unique. Thank you so much for being here and providing with us a week of artists coming up. Tell us a little bit about Music for the Culture and exactly your portion in changing the lives of our youth through music.
Well, thank you for allowing me to be here. God Almighty has given me another day, another breath that I breathe on this cold day here in Kentucky. I appreciate that, Dr. Troupe. I really do. So, Music for the Culture, we work with artists
Yes, ma'am.
here in Louisville, Kentucky, and nationally as well. We work with young people from the ages of 16 to 24. We provide a positive platform for them to have expressive, creative um, way, just a positive, just a positive environment, right? So they can just be who they are, express who they are, talk about the things and rap and sing about the things that they go through, things that they see. Instead of taking the beef out on the streets, you're going to take the beef right inside the studios, inside write about it, talk about it, be around other people that are like minds like you. So those are some of the things we do with Music for the Culture. I know I've talked about it last week. So, we have a lot of, we got a night ahead of us and a lot of people. So I don't want to be all day, but definitely stay connected with me. I have a Facebook and an Instagram page, and some artists have came on last week, and there are some here that's on here tonight as well that are from Kentucky that are independent. They're very dynamic in what they do and also involved in activism. So I'm just grateful for being here, and thank you for providing this platform for us. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Black Power Radio, my queen. We would also like to invite you to come out to the Sankofa International Conference in April as well. So if you have a moment,
Certainly.
yeah, we will definitely connect
Yes.
with you for that. We got Busy One joining us. Yay. Okay. We are live on Black Power Radio, TV Media News Network. We are your most informative network
Busy one in
of
the
news media. Yes, Busy One in the house.
house.
All right. So thank you all for joining us. Sister Trupe, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go. Okay. I think she has a delay in her connection. And let me see. So
Yes.
you want to come up? You ready for Doc
Can
Minister?
you hear me,
Uh,
family?
yeah,
Yes,
we
we
ready.
can now. Black Power.
She in and out.
Woo! All
I
right, so
know the devil
I'm
busy.
gonna hang on, family. I'm gonna hang on. That's right.
Sage
Nobody won't
working
put out.
full
So we're
time. We
actually
must work full
converting
time as well.
some video right now. So again, thank you for joining us. Let
It
me
just
see if
keep
I can
on.
get this on.
We gonna queue up
Me.
Mr. Paul Scott.
Papa,
Yeah,
can
you
you
ready
hear
for that?
me?
Yes, we can. Black Power.
Okay.
Sister,
Let's,
can you see me? Okay.
I
I
can
cannot
see you.
sing, but definitely if I scared
We see you,
you,
hear
my
you,
bad.
feel you. Keep it
Do
up.
we have
Black
oh no
history
no no
programs
okay. So let's
sponsored by
hold on
white-owned or
video for 1 second.
Okay.
operated.
Do we have any more artists that we're going to have perform
No.
before we go right to our special guest at the top of the hour?
I think so.
We do
Elijah was on
have
here.
Miss Renee. I believe
Yeah, Elijah kept
okay,
getting
do we have
kicked off.
Elijah in the house?
He kept getting kicked out for some reason.
Oh,
Bad
Elijah.
connection. I know. It's been a bad connection
Okay, well
tonight.
we'll have them back on.
Mm.
Yes, it has. It's the first of the month. It's the first of the month. So we got to continue to move on with the show. So without further ado, family, we're going to go straight into our guest of the hour. And we're so grateful again to have him on board. We're first going to open up with the person who introduced us, Brother John Kemet Shabazz, who is not an attorney, but oh my God, he will run circles around any legal expert in helping the Eccles family with the tragedy that happened with the patriarch concerning police killing. And so we wanted to welcome you, Brother John Kevin Bass, to Black Power Radio, and if you give us a brief update on the case with not only the Eccles family, but the future of what you see in the legal system.
Peace, Sister Truth, family. Are you all hearing me well? Can you hear me well?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm honored to be on the show with you all tonight. And I want to take time to give you a quick, brief update on the Eccles case. The Eccles case at this particular time, what we have done is on September 30th, 2024, we received a final order from the circuit judge denying access to a grand jury to present evidence of a homicide murder that happened to Charles Eccles in July of 2023. Okay. And so what we have done is we have appealed that to the state Supreme Court. And we're in the process of doing that right now. And I want to come back. I want to come back on the air on another show and go into more deeper detail because I'm in the process of doing the petition for direct appeal, and I'll take questions at that time. At this time, and I appreciate this platform for allowing this, Minister Paul Scott. I want to pivot to him because I had found out from him that he was sick, and I contacted him personally, told me he had colon cancer. And this is a man that I respect the work that he does because I see him doing work against the odds, reaching the youth, and developing programs just based upon his own initiative. And I found myself having to do the same thing here in West Virginia. So I want to take the time now and pivot to Minister Paul Scott and begin to ask him some questions in terms of his history and background. Okay. I got to get the host permission to do that. I'm trying to do this as smooth as possible. Okay. Mr. Paul Scott.
Yes, sir.
All right.
What inspired? First question I got to ask.
To have you here.
Well, yes, we are. And I got to go. What inspired you to be a community activist?
Yes, sir. First of all, I just want to say thank you again for allowing me in this space. Thank you for the invite. Thank you for just allowing my voice to be heard. But to answer your question, what started me off on my road to activism was hip hop. I was heavily involved in hip hop since 1980. I just rode that wave. So when I was 21, 22, hip hop went the conscious Public Enemy and Boogie Down Productions. I was in
Pause
college.
right there. Let's get the audio. Let's fix the audio. Audio.
Right. You kind of saw.
Let's start from the
Okay,
top, Brother Paul Scott. We want to hear every word you got to say to us right here on Black Power Radio. So let's make sure
okay.
we
Is
get
my
the.
audio coming in straight?
Okay, go ahead.
Yes,
Go ahead.
sir. Somewhat. Yes,
Oh, okay. Um, I was saying I want to thank for the invite. Thank you for this platform. Thank you for letting my voice be amplified. But how I started with activism was I've been a hip hop head since I was 14 years old. In 1980, as they say, I fell in love with hip hop when I started listening to Feel the Heartbeat by the Treacherous Three, Showing My Age, Super Rapping #2 by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, and That's the Joint, Funky 4 plus one more. So that's when I fell in love with hip hop. So around 88, 89, when hip hop really got into its consciousness. Now, there were some conscious elements before that. I want to make that clear. There were some conscious elements before that, but the conscious wave of 88, 89 was life changing to me. When I start listening to Public Enemy and reading the liner notes, when I start listening to X Clan, when I start listening to Karis One and Boogie Down Production, that changed me politically because I used to go back and read the liner notes that Professor Griff used to write on the Public Enemy albums. And I would study the liner notes and the bibliographies. And the liner notes and the bibliographies turned me on to reading Malcolm X, turned me on to reading Kwame Ture. Later on, turned me on to studying Steve Coakley. So my foray, introduction into hip hop, Black consciousness and community activism came through hip hop, directly tied into hip hop.
I say.
Right on. And rest in power to Steve Coakley. I'm glad you brought him up. Right on, brother. The X
Yes, sir.
Clan, KRS-One, the real hip hop. Them brothers
Real
ain't cursing nothing. No gangster nothing. No shooting. No nothing. Straight hip hop, straight lyrics and bars, man. Salute. Appreciate you.
Yeah. But there was always, and I'm also a hip hop historian. I used to write for a couple of hip hop blogs back when I met Brother John Kemet Shabazz when we formed the original Militant Mind Militia back in 2011. So I've also been a hip hop writer. I've done guest editorials for the Final Call and other platforms. But as far as history, hip hop has always had that violent imagery. It has just been more pronounced now. It's more commercial now. If you go back to Wild Style, back in, I think, 1983, 1984, which is one of the first hip hop movies, they pulled out guns. There's a scene with Fab Five Freddy when they pulled out guns. When
Right.
you're talking about 87, 88, you're talking about consciousness, but you're also talking about Just Ice.
Yeah, you talk about the crack era as
Yeah,
well.
you're talking about Just Ice, who was the original hip hop gangster, the real hip hop gangster. So there's always been that element,
What about
but
Cool G
corporate
Rap?
America has let that element dominate since 1992. And I know you all have heard, I won't say it's a conspiracy theory. People like myself and others have advocated that in 1992, after the Rodney King rebellion, something took place. I think the idea of a secret meeting is a myth, and we can go into that because I have the original press release that went out. But something took place in 1992 where they
Right.
decided to replace conscious hip hop with so-called gangster rap, which later became drill music.
I heard about that meeting too. The brother from Bone Thugs and Harmony had spoke about it, and that came to my attention. And I believe that meeting happened just due to the fact that conscious music has faded away, and it gets no promotion, it gets no publicity. And during that era, before the crack era, excuse me, you know what I mean? Because I grew up in that era, and my family was affected by it. Before the guns came into hip hop, it was breakdancing. You know what I'm saying? They'll break dance and they'll battle that way. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I hope the youth could actually go back to and bring that element back. You know what I'm saying? The break dancing and basically having a battle party where they just dancing and it's just going peacefully. You know what I mean?
Let me clarify why I say that letter. I think it's a myth. At the time, I was writing a lot of articles for All Hip Hop. I think I was doing an article. I did 86 articles straight once a week for All Hip Hop. And Brother John Kim Shabazz remembers that era because that was during the original Militant Mind Militia era. I received the original press release because what the writer did was he sent out a press release to hip hop writers that said in 1990 there was a meeting. He didn't qualify it. He didn't list the names. And those who study Brother Steve Copley said it's not legit unless you name the names. So on the original press
Check,
release, it just
check.
said,
Right.
and this is
I'm
20,
loving this brother more and more.
this is 20, this is 2014, April of 2014. The press release went out. There was no attribution. He just said there was some kind of secret meeting among label heads. Now, again, I'm going to refer back to Brother Steve Coakley. He taught us there's something called limited hangout or limited fallout. And limited hangout and limited fallout is a military term that means when you're on the verge of discovering the whole truth, they give you half the truth to pose as the real truth. So, did a meeting take place? Yes, and there are documented meetings that took place that are actually documented. Harvard did actually in 1968, Columbia Records had a meeting called How to Market the Revolution when they brought together their executives to see how they could put the anti-war movement, how they could put, most of the anti-war movement, how they can make money off of that. That was 1968, Columbia Records. Harvard, in the early 70s, did a study called Marketing Music to Black People. How to market music to Black people. Harvard did that study. Harvard did a second study in the 80s, during closer to the hip hop age, again about how to market music to Black America. Now, the meeting that people don't talk about, and I always give my sources. This book, Don't Rhyme for the Sake of Riddling, the authorized story of Public Enemy by Russell Myrie. He talks about a meeting or several meetings that took place during that same era that nobody talks about. He, in this book that's documented, he talks about how Chuck D and several other positive artists during that time were supposed to meet at a certain location, and somebody threatened to blow up the building and they had to cancel the meeting. This is a documented secret meeting, unlike the other secret meeting, there was no documentation.
10-4, I say, man. Appreciate you. Black Power.
No problem.
Hey, show that book one more time so I can get that, man.
Yeah.
I can send it out to the people, man. No love, man.
Riddling, Russell Myrie, but the most important part of this book, this is one of the rare opportunities that we always talk about how they try to assassinate hip hop artists. I know Professor Griff has talked about how they, I think, tried to poison him. We can only imagine what they tried to do to Sister Soldier. And we can go into that. We can only imagine. People don't talk about that because people suffer from PTSD when it comes to that era. People really don't want to talk about that era in 88, 89 because when Griff got kicked out of Public Enemy, when Tricky, Slick Willie, Bill Clinton destroyed Sister Soldier's
Part. That part.
career, and she
Talk
had to
about it.
become an author
Talk about it.
when Ice-T in Body Count was made to bow down by Time Warner. And he went on Arsenio Hall and other places and said that you know how it feels when the President of the United States says your name in anger. He said that when these rappers or whoever, as soon as the President of the United States says your name, all the alphabet boys swing into action.
That's what they
Ice-T
did to
said
Sister
that.
Soldier.
Ice-T
Exactly.
said that. So people have PTSD, even the old school artists. They don't like talking about that era because it got real. So it's in a fear factor through the whole industry that they say, look, we're going to go this gangster route because this revolutionary stuff can get you killed.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can you talk to us about what happened to Dr. Steve Coakley as well?
Um, Despite the conspiracy theories,
Right.
health issues,
Health issues, 100%.
um, that's the only, because I don't really deal with the conspiracies unless I have proof. The only thing I know about Baba Steve, I think it was health issues. I know for a minute he went into a coma. He came out. He did a radio interview, told his family goodbye, gave final instructions, and a week from that, the brother had passed. So the only thing, people do die. Everything doesn't have to be a conspiracy. Many of our freedom fighters, as much as we talk about how great they are, how much we love them, I'm not going to name them on here. Well, I won't name too many on here in recent history, but a lot of these freedom fighters died with health issues. They died broke. One in particular, they say he passed homeless in a driveway. Marcus Garvey, died
Right.
broken,
Penniless, right.
living with two white roommates.
Right.
So as much as we want to glamorize what happens, and we want our revolutionaries to die with their boots on and fight for the people, sometimes it's just normal stuff that takes them out of here.
What you have to understand is Brother Coakley went out as he sacrificed himself for people who claimed they were conscious, who just didn't care. The man wouldn't take care of his dental care because black folks would bring him there and wouldn't pay him anything.
Yep.
Okay, he had to
Right.
pass the hat and sell his VHSs, which I saw niggas steal from him. So this is what goes on. Our people are parasites. Okay, they're not revolutionaries; they're delusionaries. They don't really participate in this thing full time. It's just a game for them. We masturbate with liberation. We don't live it. And that's why Steve Coakley ended up going out just like Chancellor William, who died poor and impoverished for giving everything to people who just don't give a damn. So I advise you all to get serious, please. This is a new world. Hotep.
Yeah, most of these new cats don't even quote the brother. I've seen people quote Steve Coakley almost verbatim, like they just came up with it, and they don't even attribute anything to the brother, like he never existed. So yeah.
That's what parasites do. I call them toxic, educated, mobile parasites.
Glad y'all mentioned Brother Chancellor Williams, destruction of black civilization. That's another brother who the youth have to, like. It's nothing wrong with mimicking our great leaders, because each one teach one. You know what I'm saying? Same way in hip hop, everybody got a style, and in hip hop,
Each one
everybody
teach.
mimics their style. You know what I'm saying? But I would love for the youth to follow Chancellor Williams, Dr. Steve Coakley, Dr. Amos Wilson, another legend. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you, brother. I yield. Salute. Black power.
Brother Scott, Brother Paul Scott, if you was gonna
Yes, sir.
pick out a conscious hip hop artist of today, who would you pick? Give me three that you would listen to, comparable to the golden age. You're talking 1988 on up until say 1994.
And brother, that question, I think 99% would probably say Kendrick Lamar. That too many contradictions. But I would say the last artist that really caught my attention, and this is going back to Lupe Fiasco. You know, you have the underground. You have Griff and his wife still putting out music. You have Sarah, who you just played. You have a lot of other underground artists who you may never hear of, local underground artists. But the last mainstream artist that really caught my attention was Lupe Fiasco.
Ah,
And
Lupe.
where is he now?
He's still underground. He's a lyricist. He's still underground.
But it's like the
Yeah, well,
ones that speak the most consciousness, they're not being
Exactly.
heard or seen. You all hear
Exactly.
this
right.
mumble rap and
It's-
this drill music and
He
this
stayed the course too.
derogatory horrorism that we got in this so-called feminist movement.
Mm.
Like our kids are being poisoned with something that's supposed to be hip hop, but is very derogatory and very negative for them. So that's why we want to push more positive images of black people in the culture, because they're not getting played. You know what I mean? You can't
That's right.
We can all diddy bop and do this and that, but what are we learning from these people? You
That's right.
know, these chicks is talking about catching STDs and having babies and abortions and all kind of stuff and they making millions of dollars off of bullshit and crap.
Of the distraction.
You know,
Off dreams.
Right.
that's not
Yeah.
hip hop, right?
Not hip
It's
hop.
not hip hop.
There's a difference
This book,
between hip hop
This
and
brother
rap.
Pete,
That
hold on.
there's a difference between hip hop and rap. Okay, let's not confuse the two when we talk about hip hop. Hip hop is a conscious effort to awaken up to an awakening of the minds.
Mhm.
Okay, if it's not about awakening of the minds, it's not about hip hop. Rap is that nonsense that we hear. Everybody talking this, that, and the other, cussing each other out, calling our women out their name, calling our men out their name. Taking this battle rap bullshit that they doing now, and insulting each other through their music or through what they call music. Okay, we need to put the emphasis on what it is, and we need to understand what it is. Okay, rap and hip hop are not the same thing.
let me give another lineage, another side to that argument. If you take the origin of rap, a lot of people don't know that Sugar Hill Gang, that lyric that is attributed to Big Bang Hank, that is attributed to Casanova Cass from the Cold Crush Brothers. The ladies pimp, the women fight for my delight. That actually came from H. Rap Brown. I would say it again. That lyric, what part of that lyric, not the whole lyric, but that lyric that Big Bang Hank did, that they said Casanova Fly, Cass from the Cold Crush Brothers wrote, part of that came from actually H. Rap Brown in one of his books, one of his poems. So also, when we get into the hip hop rap argument, we can't forget that in 1990, from a historical standpoint, on Professor Griff and the Last Asiatic Disciples CD, when he got kicked out of Public Enemy, for quoting Steve Coakley, when he got kicked out of the group and he had to get signed with, and I think Chuck actually got him his deal with Luke Skywalker, Luke Campbell now. He said that rap, and this is 1990, he said that rap stood for revolutionary African people. He said that rap stood for revolutionary African people. So I don't really get caught into the semantics of hip hop versus rap, because there's a lineage you can actually trace about rap that will actually bring you back to H. Rap Brown. So,
and shout out to the God MC Rakim, Master of Ceremony.
But if you want to read about the history of rap, this is an excellent book called The Big Payback by Don Charnas.
I'm gonna screenshot that joint. Hold on. Put it up one more time.
Yeah, Don Charnas, The Big Payback. And what he actually does is he talks about it from a strictly business standpoint, in the same way that Eric Williams, not comparing him with Eric Williams, wrote Slavery and Capitalism and Slavery. In that same mold, he didn't take it from an emotional standpoint. He takes it from a business standpoint. When did hip hop sell out? Who were the white boys involved in the hip hop industry? Who are the names of the record companies that got together and formed the rap music mafia? The rap music mafia. He names the names in this book, and he would make the argument even before 1992. He would make the argument through documentation in this book that the wheels had already started turning as far as the corporate takeover of hip hop as soon as hip hop left the tri-state area. As soon as it left New York, Jersey, and Connecticut, corporate America, because a lot of times when you talk about destruction of, someone brought up the destruction of Black civilization by Dr. Chancellor Williams. We think maybe most of us are living day to day. Most of us are living day to day. Maybe we might have a 5-year plan. If we're lucky, we might have a retirement plan. But the European has 25-year plans, 50-year plans, 100-year plans, and some will argue 1,000-year plans. So the record industry, when it didn't take them to Hammer and Vanilla Ice to say, okay, this is going to be a $1 billion industry. John Chalmers would make the argument that as soon as they saw the success of Rapper's Delight, as soon as hip hop started getting played, not on BLS, not on the New York stations, but when it got played in North Carolina, when it got played in Georgia, when it got played in California, they automatically say, we can make millions and billions off this industry.
They
You're
done it.
definitely on point, little brother.
They done
What
it.
I realize is, and you all should also realize, that Europeans create this poverty deliberately. That's why they destroyed the music industry to slide rap in. Why do you have to destroy musicians to slide hip hoppers in? So you have to understand our poverty is not just economic, it's mental, spiritual, as well as cultural. So you're being attacked on multiple levels simultaneously. So always be aware of that. I acquiesce. Go ahead.
That's why I carry this book around with me at all times. And this is where actually Sister Soldier, see, a lot of these rappers who were persecuted in the 90s, they were actually quoting our master teachers. KRS-One was quoting Kwame Ture. Griff was quoting Steve Coakley. A lot of the rappers were quoting Minister Farrakhan. Sister Soldier, when she made her statement at Jesse Jackson's Rainbow Coalition meeting back in 1992, when she said that Black people, just as an example, she said Black people kill Black people all year long. What would happen if Black people or Black youth took a weekend and killed white people? And Bill Clinton shut her career down. She was actually taking that from the Psychopathic Racial Personality by Dr. Bobby E. Wright, where he poses the same argument. And as you know, right after that, you had no more Sister Soldier albums. You can't even find a Sister Soldier album on a discount bin anymore. She had 360 Degrees of Power, and so I think her only album. And there were some bangers on that album. She was doing all the talk shows. She was on Donahue. Yeah, she was on Donahue. She was on Larry King. But like the elder was saying earlier, what happened was these rappers, and to piggyback what he said, these rappers stood up for the people, and their comrades in the industry did not have their back. They left them out there hanging. Back in 1989, how many rappers stood up for Professor Griff? Ice-T and maybe the Ghetto Boys.
Very few.
Ice-T and maybe the Ghetto Boys. That was about it. Everybody else ran it out. Nobody wanted that heat. Because for a lot of these kids, they were 19, 20 years old. They said, okay, this conscious thing is a fad. I'm just here to make money. I ain't trying to be a model.
And what I would recommend for everybody who's not a cyber slave is to go back and get the DVD. I know the white man told you they're obsolete. That's BS. go back and get Sister Soldier's No Disrespect DVD. It's also got Roz. He's the mayor in New Jersey.
Raj Baraka.
Roz Baraka, right? He's opening up for her, and that I would advise all of you to go back and just listen to it 2 or 3, 4 times, like you should listen to Richard Pryor. First 3 times, sit on the floor because you're gonna fall off laughing. But these people were prophets who spoke to us, and we still have yet to hear them. What's that?
You can enter Sister Soldier right on YouTube and pull her up, and you can pull up all her speeches and all her music as well. And,
Hopefully they
as far
don't
as I
edit it.
mentioned,
Get the DVD because it's uncut.
yeah, both. Get both. Absolute. She used to be at the Black Star out there in Harlem, New York, and she used to be in Black and Noble out in Philadelphia, out North Philadelphia. That's how I knew as a youngin', but I don't know exactly where she at right now, like for real. And that'd be a good question to know her whereabouts and be able to get in contact with her and just give her flowers.
She's in Dubai.
Just like Stevie Wonder, they don't want to have nothing to do with you because we're deaf, dumb, and happy to be stupid. They get tired of yelling into the wilderness trying to get people to hear the truth when all we want to hear is BS. They just get tired of it. They're fighting for your life and you're fighting them. It's hard when you're fighting for people and they fight you and they fight hard, long, and dirty. That's hard. Stevie Wonder's still alive. He won't make a song because you ain't heard what he wrote the last time. He wrote Big Brother. You ain't heard it yet.
Brother Paul.
Who wrote Big Brother?
Brother Paul.
Stevie Wonder wrote the song Big Brother. My name, your name is Big Brother. I don't even have to do nothing to you. You cause your own country to fall. I live in the ghetto. You just come to visit me about election time. And they still put the same trick on you. And you haven't paid attention yet. Pay attention, y'all, please.
All right.
Yeah, I got a question.
Okay, family.
Sister Soldier's in Dubai, actually. She was on the Breakfast Club, I think about 3 weeks ago, but she's in Dubai.
Appreciate you, brother. Salute, Black Power.
No doubt.
Yes, sir. And we definitely need them back at the forefront. Brother Minister Paul Scott, you have been doing this for a very, very long time. I did some extensive research and see that you've been on the Hannity and Calm show in the early 2000s, spilling some truth. So there are some two videos that we'd like to show. First and foremost, one when you're talking about exactly the truth on how music was stolen from us and how what you said.
African Americans to boycott Black History programs sponsored by white-owned or operated corporations. Joining us now, the co-founder of the Messianic African Nation is the Reverend Paul Scott is with us. Reverend Scott, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
What's this all about?
It's about us the Black community taking control of our culture and our history. Right now, Black History Month has been hijacked by white corporations who are giving us a slave whitewash version of Black history. And we don't need that. If that's the best we can get, we're giving it to you back.
Yeah, so you're giving it to you back, is that what you said? You say, so in other words, corporations that focus on the need to have inclusion, and they focus on Black history, perhaps feeling that some history has been ignored, you're attacking them for reaching out. Why would you do that?
I'm not attacking.
You kind of are when you say, when you say that white corporations have too much control over Black culture. Didn't you say that?
Why in the world would any people allow the descendants of the people who enslaved them to teach them their history? What kind of history are they going to give them?
Can I ask you, why do you have to look at the world in black and white? Isn't this our America now? Haven't we had the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act? Isn't America made progress? Aren't you willing to accept the change and accept the progress? Don't you accept that a lot of white America is not racist?
Well, no one's arguing that that all white America is racist. What we are arguing is that our history is much deeper. It goes back further than when we had contact with the Europeans.
So these corporations don't want to focus on that, and you want to condemn them for it. And I'm asking this question. At what point do you say, if there is a real concerted effort to reach out, why are you just basically slapping down the hands of people that are trying to help?
We've always reached out to
Yes.
white America, but the thing is, we have not reached out to each other. We have not loved each other.
Reverend,
so what we're trying to do is trying to develop that self-love and that black unity, and we don't need white America to help us do
Aren't
that.
you being racially divisive, Reverend, by saying you're making it a black versus white thing? When blacks and whites together can say, let's celebrate our mutual heritage, let's celebrate Black History Month, because we should all join in celebrating the wonderful achievements of African Americans.
Well, if white America can accept that black people discovered
But you're separating black
civilization
versus
and built
white
the
America as if they're...
pyramid, and if your white child wants to hear about Nat Turner and Denmark Vesey and those who rebelled against the slave master, I'm all for it. If you want to teach that version of history, we don't need a G-rated version of history that white America
Well, I
gives
think
us.
all information should be made available, but you're the
one
one separating this along racial lines rather than doing it in a communal way in the mosaic that is America. We're not a white country or a black country. We're a multifaceted country. You want to separate the races along the lines of this issue.
I disagree. I think this country was created for white people by white people, and they're giving black people a whitewashed version of black history, or a black history in white.
How many people are in your movement?
We have people all across the country, especially in the prisons, who, in the Mississippi.
How many people are with you on this?
A lot of people with me. I would probably say most. If you ask most people in Black America, they're sick and tired of the same.
Well, you're making
Martin
a black
Luther King,
America versus a
Rosa
white
Parks.
America. That's what the problem is.
We
here.
got to run. Paul, appreciate you being with us. Now, coming up
gotta
next when
run.
we get back,
You gotta
Alan is
run
going to
too.
reveal which politician has made a promise to
White
refrain from having
America is not a
sex
mosaic.
until
America is
Election
a
Day.
disease.
Oh
Wow.
Lord, I just love these interviews. So let's break this down. And oh, you've been holding it down in these interviews, in these
You faded
sort
out.
of
You faded
the
out.
devil's. Can you
We
hear me
got
now?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
All right, all right. So I wanna point something. First of all, bravo, kudos to you, Minister Paul, for holding it down in these interviews. And you've been on Sean Hannity, which I don't fond of a lot of these mainstream media. But back in the day, for you to tell the truth, they wouldn't even let you finish. This is the kicker. They wouldn't even let you finish your answer. They were so heated in listening to the truth. Can you tell us what was going on through your mind when you do interviews like that?
We're
Spilling
actually doing
truth to
that.
fire.
That was about 20 years ago, maybe. Yeah, about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Or more. And during that period, Malik and the New Black Panthers would come on one week, then they have me on the next week, and so basically that's how it went. So it was kind of like they needed a villain. They needed villains. They needed people to scare white America. So they would have the New Black Panthers on, and then they would have me on. And I think one time they had us actually on the same show together, which was I don't think they were ready for. And I've debated Sean Hannity probably about 6 times, and I think I got banned a couple of years ago from his radio show because I mentioned that Dr. Khalid Muhammad was one of my role models, and he said that he would never have me on his show again because of that. Yeah.
Right on. Well, the things that you were mentioning.
Every time.
I'm sorry, fam. Go ahead, sis.
No, I was having a sidebar conversation. I'm sorry, but I just want to say that Mr. Paul Scott, that I just love the way that you handled that with charisma and power and authority. And shout out to you, my brother. You know I follow you religiously on Facebook. I share your post. Yeah. Oh.
And in the future, remember what Malcolm told us: when those cracker devils who are on code ask you how many, don't give them numbers. All that is an opportunity for you to expose yourself. Don't do it.
Right, because we are countless. Your supporters are numerous. We all feel the same way. It's to the point now where we have to stop shucking and jiving with these people and trying to explain ourselves to them, because that's what they want us to do. They still want to try to be Whitey on the moon and the master of all the universe, but they're not. And they have to acknowledge our history. If you're not gonna teach us the real history, then shut the up. That's what they can do, pretty much, and that's
Right.
what we
Well,
are
that's
now.
pretty much that's
That's
pretty
where we
much what Minister Scott was doing that day
is.
when they were asking how many people in your movement, and the first thing came out your mouth. Majority of our people are in the prisons, and they
Right.
didn't even let you finish. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm so empowered just by watching you tell truth to power. As you said, this was 20 years ago. Now, before that, let's talk about the early 90s where you really had your revolutionary foot in the media, starting out with your own cable network, the Media Enforcer. Can you tell us a little bit about how that started and what got you into speaking on these forums at such an early age?
Yeah, I mean, that was when I was 24, 25 years old, and started going to a place in Durham called the No Bookstore. If you're familiar with Durham, back in the early 2000s, you're familiar with Dr. Bruce Bridges and the No Bookstore. So back in
Yeah,
90,
that's the one.
yeah, 91,
Yeah.
92, that's when, there were lectures all the time. The master teachers would come to the bookstore. And what happened was a lot of the elders, they knew about pyramids, they knew about the Marcus Garveys, they knew about Malcolm, but they didn't know about hip hop. So I'm the young kid that comes in. And I'm like, okay, y'all they say, okay, we got the pyramids. Don't even mess with that stuff. We know more than you're going to learn in the next 20 years, but you know hip hop. So you stick to hip hop. And being that I had a hip hop radio background to a degree, the elders gave me my assignment. Even to this day, even though I refuse to argue with 20-year-old children who we failed, even to this day, I still try to have hip hop conversations to some degree. I really stopped doing that when the age of rappers went from like, 35 and dropped to like 18, 19, 20 years old. I'm not arguing anybody's
Mhm.
grade, but yeah, but that's really what got me started with activism. That's what got me started with the cable shows. That's what got me caught because I used to bogart. I used to bogart in
Right.
spaces. When
That's Steve Coker's thing.
Exactly.
Oh God.
back in the day, BET used to give out an 800 number on all their shows. Teen Summit, Tavis Smiley. They used to give out an 800 number. What most people would in C-SPAN, all these places would give out an 800 number. So what I would do, and most people would wait until the number popped up. I would always call 5 minutes before the show started and get straight through on the first ring. So that's how I started bogarting myself into these spaces. That's how I got a chance to really speak truth to power face to face. I would just call those 800 numbers 5 minutes before showtime, get straight through. The producer would pass you through, and it worked almost every time.
Peeping, peeping game. Thank you for
Now
putting the
that's
zone
thinking
on that. I
outside the
don't know if it's
box.
going.
It
That's
worked.
right. That's right. So let's take a look. Yes, let's take a look down memory lane on one of the episodes.
A North Carolina minister has kicked off a campaign to ban white people from the hip hop industry. His national emancipation crusade aims to free the black community from what he calls hip hop slavery.
Okay.
Joining us now is the minister of the
Okay.
Messianic African
If we
Nations,
can.
Reverend Paul Scott. Reverend Scott, good evening.
Thank you for having me.
I've read your comments that
Hold on a second. All right, so this is an episode from 1994.
Okay.
Truth Minister
2004. That was probably
Paul
2000.
Scott.
Oh, right there.
Banned if
Okay.
I don't. So sometimes I will and sometimes I won't. Hi, this is Paul Scott, the Media Enforcer, bringing you this week's episode of The Scoop from the Stoop. This week, I thought I'd address an issue that a lot of people were talking about last month, and that was Black History or African American History Month. Now, I'm a little upset about the way that the month was being represented. It seems like what they're doing is giving us Black his story, while our story remains a mystery. I got to get up on this one.
Come on now.
See, what
Yeah.
they're doing is giving us a watered down version of history. They're not telling the truth about the black man, about how our civilization goes back to when we started civilization. The black man is the mother of civilization. The black man, our history goes back so far before history is even being recorded. If you want to talk about our history, don't start in 1960. Don't start in 1865. Don't start in 1619. Don't start when we were brought here as slaves. Don't give us that slave history. Give us our true black history. Don't just tell us about one man. You know, don't get me wrong. Martin Luther King was a great man. He was a great man, but our history goes more deeper than that. When you just focus on one man, you forget about Malcolm X. You forget about the Black Panthers. You forget about Robert Williams right here in Monroe, North Carolina. You forget about all these people who have made the sacrifices so that we as a people could rise up. You forget about all black brothers and sisters in the South that were lynched, had dogs set on them, had police beat them in the head, pregnant women, bellies all out to there, 9 months pregnant, had the belly sliced open, baby fall on the ground, slave masters pounce them in the head and just step on them. So don't just give me a little bit about history. It's more than just can't we all just get along? Sure, we can all just get along, and if we can all just get along, at what price can we all just get along? I want to tell you about the true black history. The true black history, since we as a people were brought to the shores of North America in slave ships. That wasn't the Love Boat. That wasn't no Gilligan's Island cruise. That wasn't no 3-day voyage. That was a 400-year sojourn that brings us to where we are now. We just can't start our history back in 1865. Lincoln didn't free the slaves. We can't even tell our children that Lincoln freed the slaves. What he was trying to do was keep our country together. That shouldn't keep this country together. That shouldn't even be a part of black history. You know what I'm saying to you? That shouldn't even be a part of black history. What we have to realize is that a lot of our black leaders were shot for standing up for the black man. They were killed for standing up for the black man. So these are the things that we have to realize and come to grips with when we discuss black history.
Get your hand on my pocket.
Brothers, cool it, brothers, cool it.
Yeah, that was 30 years ago.
That was
wow.
30 years ago.
30 years.
My God. And here you are.
That was 30 years ago.
I tell you. So, yes, tell us what difference happened now and 30 years ago. What self were you? What mentality were staged you? And we see that you were already on the way of the conscious plane. Well, what transgressed to Paul Scott now in 2024, 30 years later?
When I used to do stuff like that, my elder brother Tata, who was a former Black Panther, he used to pull me to the side and said, "That sounded real good, Paul, but what you actually want to do?" He would pull me to the side. He was like, "That sounded real good, but what you gonna do when they snatch your passport? What you gonna do when you're facing jail time? What you gonna do?" All that sounded real good. So that helped me mature. That, after all the rhetoric, after all the theater, what was I actually willing to die for? What was I actually willing to go to jail for? So after that period, after that period, I devoted most of my energy from that period until about 1998 to fighting the malt liquor companies. St. Ides, Fat Boy Malt Liquor. I was raising issues. Why are they on liquor stores on every corner in the hood? So I said, that's an issue that I was willing to die for, because they were using hip hop. They were using Wu-Tang. They were using the Ice Cube. They were using Tupac to promote St. Ides Malt Liquor. I also read Coach Powell's book, 40-Ounce Scandal, where he talked about it. So, and there weren't that many people fighting against the 40-ounce malt liquor, how it's poisoning our community. I know Chuck D sued St. Ives for using his voice, and they did his Public Enemy did a song called 1 Million Body Bags, but there weren't that many people fighting against it. So after all the theater, I said, okay, let me do something tangible. So for the next 4 or 5 years, I dedicated most of my energy to fighting the malt liquor industry.
All right. Well, you did an excellent job, brother, and we applaud you, and
Sure
we
did.
giving you your flowers today. We know you're dealing with some things personally, and we just want to thank you for coming on Black Power Radio tonight and sharing with us and pouring into us. And brother, we need you for this Million Youth March. And so if you would
That's right.
join us and be one of our guest featured speakers and come on this platform and talk to these young people. You know, that's what we really want you to do. We really need you to come and be the voice to the youth. They need to hear you. They need to know who Minister Paul Scott is, because you're one of the greats. You
That's
know, you
right.
definitely are, and you need your accolades right now while you're here and while you're with us. You know, we don't want to wait to 50 years and then people discover your videos and then they want to celebrate you and your life and your legacy. So we need you right now. We need you on September the 6th in Washington, D.C. for the Million Youth Rally to really speak to these young people that are aspiring artists in hip hop and in the culture, because you're a part of the culture from beginning to end. What you have to say matters. And we thank you for that, my brother. Ashe.
Help us to bridge the gap.
Ashe. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Brother Pete, you got anything you want to say to him? Hold on, y'all.
Not really. I mean, I'm sitting
Yes,
here
and while we have
listening.
Hold on. Go ahead.
I'm sitting here listening to what everybody is saying. So that's basically where I'm at. I just got off the phone with some people. Next week, I'm going to have some people come on concerning the Million Youth March. I'm going to try to get some people to come on that people will come on and listen to. Mamia's family will try to be on the show next week. So we're going to start there and see what we can bring about.
Ashe.
Yes, we look forward to that. We look forward to that. We have our national chairman, Sheikh Imam Akbar, I believe that's on the stage with us. Thank you for joining us. And see, so if you're just tuning in, welcome again to Black Power Radio. Thank you for being a humble listener. We're here every Sunday and Monday, and tonight we are blessed with a special guest, the Honorable Minister Paul Scott. Over 40 years of Black Power revolutionary work, media, and really bringing truth to power. And so we are grateful for Brother John Kevin Shabazz for having him here today with us. And of course, we would love for you to come back and continue to be a contributor. Again, as Queen Janae just mentioned, our young people, they need to hear voices like yours on a consistent basis. We have to show our babies patience and love, but they need to continue to hear what changes and who they are as young Black men, as young Black women, as an example and a role model. So we don't take that lightly right here on Black Power Radio. National Chairman Sheikh Imam Akbar, you have the floor if you are able to unmute and share some words. Can you unmute? All right. Well, while we're waiting for him to unmute, we have a couple of ancestors that we want to bring up. And you have explicitly, Mr. Scott, told us the significance of who they are, such as Marcus Garvey and Coakley, Stephen Coakley. So we want for you to explain to us the significance of Tupac, as well as critical race theory, some of these controversial matters of what the public perceives our artists to be. Can you tell us a little bit about the journey encountering with these notables throughout the years?
Yeah. I never had the pleasure of meeting Tupac. A lot of the artists, a lot of conscious artists over the years I've had the pleasure of meeting. I actually wrote the last chapter in Professor Griff's book, The Psychological War in Hip Hop. I actually wrote the last chapter. So most of my contact is with the conscious hip hops, conscious era hip hop artists over the years. But as far as Tupac, I think his significance for us is to understand the contradictions, to understand where he was in 1989, to understand that a lot of his mentality was rooted in hurt and pain. And I think that, if I'm not mistaken, it was a Vibe video, and I think he actually said it in that Vice documentary, Dear Mama, that he was hurt because his mother, Feenie, was abandoned by the people that she was supposed to be saving. And that goes back to the hip hop artists who stood up in the late 80s and 90s. They felt abandoned. You wonder why people leave the struggle. You wonder why people don't stand up for hip hop. They see what happened to our people when they stand up, how they're abandoned by their own people. And we just forget about them. And 10, 20 years later, some new jack comes to pull their material and act like they discovered it. Like they the founder of the Bogart. Like they were the first one to ever mention the boule out their mouths. So that's why a lot of people lose track. But I think that's what happened to Tupac and the contradictions. He saw how his mother was abandoned by the movement. He said, like, okay, am I going to be a revolutionist or am I going to be rich? So I think he tried to combine the two, but eventually the money won over.
That's right. That's
You're
right.
right, brother. I've seen it happen a million one times. That's what we call temps, toxic educated mobile parasites. They'll steal anything they can make a dollar off of and stand up and give no props to the shoulders that they stand on. That's what I refer to as defecating on the head and shoulders of the ancestors. And the younger generation is notorious for it.
Now, this is a good book, not without its contradictions. John Patash's book, The FBI War on Tupac and Black Leaders by John Patash. It's pretty
Very
good.
good read.
But research everything. Research everything.
That's right. And we're going to try and see if we can get it from Amazon. We're going to put that in the chat. But can you tell us about the bookstore so that way we can purchase our literature from a Black owned?
Actually, what I do is I give away, and that goes back, I meant to mention the Black Hoodie Brigade and what that is. The Black Hoodie Brigade is a group that we started locally on the streets about 2 years ago in Durham, North Carolina, because I've been giving out free books in the community for about 20 years, either out my pocket or people have donated books. So I just stand on the corner. I used to do it once a week, but for the last 2 years, I've been trying to do it 6 days a week. Stand on the corner in the hood and give out free books. I'm talking about classic Black books, the classic Black books by anybody you can name. So I just pass out free books in the hood. But you can get books from anywhere. I mean, you can get them from Amazon, but for me, I just get them from anywhere I can find them. Elders have donated books. People who are on their way to Goodwill and donated huge hundreds of books to me. So because they know that if they walk by the hood, they're going to see me out there 6 days a week passing out free books, especially to the youth.
In the future, get the phone numbers and addresses and find out if they are reading them. If not, go get them back.
But I see them and when people say that, I see that being out there 6 days a week, I see the same youth every day. But being that my overhead is so low, I'm paying, maybe if I go to a used bookstore, maybe I'm paying 75 cents. People are donating books. I don't even worry about that because if they don't read, it's not my responsibility to make them read. My responsibility is to give them the information. If they don't read it, it's on them. And my overhead is so low, I'm giving out books for the price that most people pass out flyers. My overhead is so low that for the price of a colored flyer, I'm giving out books. And people play the lotto People play the lotto. People spend 20, 30, $40 a week
or
playing the
more.
lotto with 1,000,001 chance to read. And I'm investing 75
Sure
cents
do.
in a youth. So I'll take that gamble whether they read it or not. Because one thing I do is, this is what Dr. Bruce taught me at the No Bookstore. It's no longer there in Durham. It's been gone for about 15 years. But he taught me the way he used to sell books. He was so convincing that he would actually give you a lecture about the book before you bought it. So when the youth walk by, I tell them about the book before I give it to them because most of the time I've already read the book. If I haven't read the book, I'm familiar with information. So it's really no overhead. So when I give them a book, whether they read it or not, they still got the lecture, and the book is just a memento to show I care.
I hear you, and I appreciate the sentiment. Many have asked me, said, Brother New World, you give away books, DVDs, money, clothes, cash, food. How you get paid? I said, when black folk wake the hell up, I'll be paid in full. So I feel you, brother.
Yeah, and because what got me started, going back to Steve Coakley, what got me started giving away free stuff is Coakley used to have a rule. He used to say, you can dub my tapes, you can pass my tapes, just don't sell them.
Right.
And when I really got into the real conscious movement, I mean the real movement, this brother Solomon Watt in Durham, I was young in the movement. This was like 91, just finding out about the movement. He saw me in a meeting, and I'm the youngest one in the meeting. He gave me 3 Steve Coakley tapes. And I said, and he walked away. I said, brother, how much I owe you? He said, brother, you don't owe me anything. Just don't sell them. So I've kept that motto. I took that man, and that's what I've been doing ever since. If I'm getting it for free, why am I going to charge the people?
Absolutely.
My.
Go.
Well, we are thankful. What city are you in tonight, sir?
I'm in Durham.
You're in Durham. Oh, my.
Durham, North Carolina.
This is the Sheikh Ali Imam Akbar, and you're
Yes.
in the right tradition, the tradition of Steve Coakley and Honorable Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, the network, Dr. James, Professor Smalls, Dr. Leonard Jeffers. I don't know if you know Dr. Rosalind Jeffers. You know her? Dr. Rosalind Jeffers.
The names I know I lectured in Harlem, and actually Malik and them, you might have been there. I lectured in Harlem back in 2003. It was a lecture called Is Hip Hop Good for Black People? And
Yes.
I know Malik and them were there. You might have been there as well. So
Yeah.
I got a chance to see a lot of those elders at that meeting in Harlem.
Yeah, so we used to bring him on. Kevin Muhammad, he passed away on the COVID, I believe. Remember,
Wow.
Kevin Muhammad used to come, Abdul Hafiz Muhammad, and it's just from Sonny Carson to Thug Moses Powell. He saved the black vendor. He was a black commerce of the Pan Africanist movement, and to name a few. But in the modern day time, now we still have some people following tradition. Professor James Smalls himself always gave me a book. When I would come to Harlem, he had a book waiting, and he still, to this hour, still passes out those books. Dr. Collins would get books, rare books from everywhere from Rutgers to Yale to Harvard University. I mean, we worked at East Coast, and the rare books was what is responsible. The reason I wanted to share that. That's how Malcolm really got his strength as a debater. His skill and strength was built into the rare books. It was built up. A lot of the momentum was built from the rare. But he had read a rare book that he could bring a fact from that probably nobody at the table or in that circle would probably have access to the same book.
Mm-hmm.
So he could quote or say things about historical facts or just have that knowledge in his head, and the spirit from the knowledge would shake everything at the table. So those things are facts. In modern times, there's still our comrades, sister, people don't know the Sister Arquette and Sister Janae Comrade, and Zinga will bear witness that Desiree on board. Many people they talk about this. Desiree does not give out books. She gives out, modern libraries of modern African centric books I mean, anything from the ISIS papers on into destruction of black civilization, anything of the modern collectibles, because she has a great source. I would like to direct many of you to Baltimore. Has a source. She has a source, but she
Yeah,
buys.
I went with her. Yeah, she
And,
has an
mm,
extensive book resource
mm,
up there in Baltimore. I can't remember the name of
oh
it,
my! It's right on
but
page.
she took me in there one day, and it was wonderful. It was like wall to wall, all black authors, books and things like that. You could spend the whole day in there just picking up books and things. And
That's
speaking of books, one thing, let me let y'all know, Washington D.C. at We Act Radio, Kamon Freeman, who ran for Congress, he's about to open up a library of banned books in the basement of the We Act radio
Right.
station where our headquarters is
Right.
in Washington, D.C. And that's at 1918 Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue in Southeast Washington, D.C. So the basement will be full of banned books and black authors and books that they won't sell to you in the store. So we're looking forward to that within over the summer. He should have that finished.
See
Put
now,
security around the
that's how
building
you
because they
use.
want to blow that up.
Now this is how you use a Halloween party spot. I think it was one of the biggest in the Washington metropolitan area. Biggest Halloween spot has been transformed into a black library. That's something for you all to think about and consider. There are a couple of more things that Durham. I still want to stay right there with my man. When you leave there and go out to Charlotte, I don't know if you've been out to Charlotte and experienced the Africa in Charlotte. There's a bookstore contained in as well. Africa City.
I've never been there, but I'm familiar with it.
You know about it, but now
I know.
that is a broad center for books. Now I'm ready to reach. I grew up in this Tidewater, what you call this Mid-Atlantic region. It's hard to make a book. I can hear a church rat piss on a cotton ball beneath a black rock, pissing on a black ant at midnight. I mean, I'm real sensitive to this area, so I'm loving it. Durham, we just left
Lord of
Asheville,
mercy.
North Carolina, on the disaster victims. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, we got Brother Pete. He wanted to say something to
You want
Brother
to bring something? Okay,
Paul.
okay. He come right
Okay.
in behind this
Come on
question.
in.
Okay,
Okay.
come on in. Yeah, we happy to have
All
you,
right.
brother Peter, our black activist, senior Black Panther, on staff activist, feed the hungry, the homeless, uh, top number one Muslim, and top number one uh, brother, top cousin and top brother, top father and top grandfather. Welcome, brother Pete of the Black Panther Party. He's my brother. I mean, I swear about a lot of night. He's closer to me than even most of my blood brothers. I had 7 of them. A few of them passed, but some of them still here, and they're not as close as brother Pete and I. And because we share a faith, and we share organizational skills. We say it's really our nation, as opposed to they say we didn't join an organization. We built it. We're trained in build nation building. I don't know nothing about no organization. But when we buy, sell, and trade, we buy, sell, and trade as a nation. So I want to welcome Brother Pete because he's my favorite soldier. He's a father and a son all day long, and I love him. Thank you, Brother Pete, for coming. And you have our brother here, our number one activist, North Carolina, preparing for the launching of the Million Youth Rally as we leave Harlem, New York, asking for our own economy and to leave Black Friday alone and take you some Gemini May home. And you have what? You come with the Black Revolution without making a move. My.
All day, every day. Black power.
Black
All
power,
right,
black
go
power.
ahead, Brother Pete. Yeah.
I just wanted to commend the brother. All power to the people. Brother, keep doing that. Keep passing out those weapons because they need to be passed out. And don't worry about
That's
whether you
right.
read them or not. If you don't pass them out, they for sure will not be able to read them. If they're not in their hand, how they gonna read something that's not in their hand? Keep giving out those
That's
weapons,
right.
brother. I commend you for that. Okay.
Appreciate you, brother.
All power to the people.
Ashe.
Been doing
All
that since
power to the people.
1970. I've been doing that since 1972. Okay, and it really kind of warms my heart to understand that there's people out there that understand the weapon of the mind over top of the weapon of the gun.
Not shame.
That part.
Not shame.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
and,
Ashe,
Brother
Brother
Pete,
P.
and there's one more. Brother Pete is the one that many times will take Sister Desiree or Sister Arquette or from DC to Baltimore to get the books that we know, or more than 90% of those books she is going to give away. And they'll be classic books, very high-end quality, expensive books. I mean, and the books we're looking at cost, I'm telling you, from $5 to $5,000. One book. I'm very serious. You just got to get serious with it. Uh, your library at Dr. King is bigger than Bill Clinton Rose Scholar. Than a library he studied in can fit in there a couple of times and still have room for the Republican elephant, a Democratic donkey, and a burnout Bernie Sanders libertarian. So I'm just saying to you, keep focused. Get on your own politics, science. Get on your own economics. You use that formula. There is no way we can fail because Black Warrior says it frequently. He said it Friday in Harlem from the Adam Clayton Powell State Building. He said, we got to take it all back, and then we got to make it all black. And I say, people, what you're doing, we're standing on the verge of painting the White House black. We're taking it back. We're painting it black. I say, people, what you're doing, standing on the verge of painting it black, and we're taking it back, painting it black, and black
Just
power.
like that.
Just like that. Is there any other
Just
kind?
like that.
Is there any other kind?
Right on, right on. So we're going to we have a few minutes left on this broadcast, and we want to again thank Minister Paul Scott for dropping the line, dropping some knowledge, and the vast work that he has done in the conscious community for over 40 years, teaching Black Revolution to our youth, to our people, and continue to do so in 2024. So we look forward to having you as a special guest of honor at the Million Youth March in Washington, D.C., September 5th and 6th. And so just before we close out, we want to hear a little bit about your new project that you're focusing on, the Militant Mind
Okay.
Militia.
I
The
want
Militant
everyone's
Mind
attention
Militia.
just a second, just a second. I want everybody here to stay extremely focused. We're bringing this out of the tradition of the most honorable Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, who did the Million Youth March in Harlem. We're pulling from him, coming out of it. And I want everyone to be focused that we are launching the Million Youth Rally. And that is for some very specific reasons we can discuss at another time. But we're launching the Million Youth Rally. And that's all power to the people and black power and a strong black revolution with a strong black military. The black that's
Black
calling this
power.
hour. Black power.
Black
Black
power.
power.
Black power. That's right.
Black Power. Yes, sir. So while we
Black
set
power.
up the stage for, oh no, we're setting up a video right quick, family. And then we're going to circle right back to the cue that video. Okay, here we go.
While we're queuing, let's not forget our political prisoners, please. Mumia,
Be a
Grandmaster
lawyer
Jay,
if you want to be a lawyer.
and
Be a
A. Brown.
scientist, be an engineer if you want to be an engineer. Just use your talent and your knowledge for the benefit of your people.
The message is so important that it needs, if they can't go to the message, then the message needs to be conveyed to them.
And you're the messenger.
In a way, I'm one of the many messengers.
And he's a natural at it.
Every now and then.
At age 4, Allende became a public speaker, reciting the words of great orators like Martin Luther King Jr.
That in spite of the difficulties and frustrations of the moment, I still have a dream.
Fulfill their responsibilities.
When you stop making excuses, when you start standing with our mothers, when you start teaching us to be humane, then we can build a new nation of strong people.
We ask that you guide us and protect us from this day forth and into the new millennium. We facilitate this process by reciting the ancient sacred words.
We hope that the young people here in this city will pursue education to its highest degree and put God first in everything that they do and begin to develop themselves.
And give special thanks to the world's leader in rap music, No Limit Records, and Brother Master P. Holla if you hear me. Holla if you hear me. Go buy every record of Master P you can find. Go get everything of No Limit Records you can find. We'll work on all of our rappers in the future to work toward liberation lyrics and revolutionary rap. But let's give Brother Master P and No Limit Records a strong hand for financing this event here today.
And so, family, we are going to honor 26 years later the Million Youth Rally. As you mentioned, so many guest speakers, so many celebrities. It's going to be a historic event for our youth right at the nation's capital, where Martin Luther King first had a dream. And so we're going to recircle back for our youth and the future of our dream for them. So again, thank you, Minister Paul, for coming in and tell us a little bit about your current efforts in the Militant Mind Militia and other initiatives for our Black youth.
Well, the Militant Mind Militia, in 2011, along with John Kemet Shabazz, we had an idea, let's get 12, 13 scholars together. And every week we went from having a conference call to having a radio show with our brother Scotty Reed and 360 Wise and others. So we got about 12 warrior scholars together, and we really dealt with hip hop. And this was about, again, 2013, 2014, and we only did it for a year. And there's a lot of things, some things we did are documented, some things we did, I'm not going to talk about it to this day. But we made a lot of significant changes in hip hop, made a lot of enemies in hip hop, told a lot of truth, and most importantly, we raised antagonistic contradictions within hip hop in that year. So, with everybody fast forward to 2024, with everybody talking about Project 2025 and the Heritage Foundation, which was built by Coors money. For y'all who still drinking Coors, Coors actually funded the Heritage Foundation.
Wow. I didn't know that. Wow.
The same family, the same Coors family, who's one of their family members said the best thing that happened to Black people was we took y'all out of Africa. That Coors. There's a book called by Lee Edwards called The Power of Ideas. Read that book. And also there's a book, I forget the name of the author. It's called Citizen Coors. It talks about how Coors actually founded the Heritage Foundation. It was Coors money. So everybody talk about Project 2025. The question is, what are we going to do in 2024? What's Project 2024 going to look like right now? So there is a need for think tanks all over the country, and starting in Durham, because I practice something called panhoodism. And panhoodism is based on the idea that the road and the journey to uniting all African people starts in the hood, in your own hood. How are we going to unite Africa? How are we going to unite the rest of the world when children are killing each other literally right down the street? So panhoodism,
one soldier at a time.
Yeah, so panhoodism teaching the journey to unite all African people starts in your own hood. So the Militant Mind Militia, going forward, hopefully gaining speed in 2025, is to put that think tank together locally. However, right now, and the sad reality is, the conscious people have already made up their mind. They've already made up their mind what they're going to do, what they're not going to do. Really, in reality, I know a lot of you organizers, you veteran organizers, understand we have to reach the neophytes. It's the neophytes who are searching for something. They're hungry. Those who haven't made up their mind.
Yes.
Those who just looking for direction. Because the conscious folks, you know, they done read all the books. They spooked out by it. They're not going to risk too much, but besides going to a lecture in many cases. But it's going to be the neophytes. So what the Black Hoodie Brigade is to reach the neophytes. To reach the neophytes, those brothers and sisters on the block who may never heard of Chancellor Williams, who never heard of Dr. John Henry Clark, who never heard of Dr. Ben, who never heard of Coakley, to put books in their hands and to organize them with one mission. Well, actually, 4-step program. Get a black hoodie. Because the Black Panthers wore
Right.
black leather jackets. We politicized the black hoodie because everybody can afford a black leather jacket. But mostly everybody either has a black hoodie or can pick up a black hoodie. Get a black hoodie, on some African medallions, wristbands that we gave out, probably about 1,000 wristbands. Get a book, and the 4 steps are acquire a Black history book, one book at a time. Get a Black history book, study that Black history book, teach that information to somebody else, and repeat the process. So we're doing it one person and one book at a time, because a lot of our people feel intimidated by the likes of people on this panel. You all are warrior scholars. Well, I haven't read 1,000 books. I haven't read 100 books. I don't know about Black history. I'm useless to the movement. No, that's why we're saying one book at a time. Read Chancellor Williams. Read ISIS papers. Read Lerone Bennett. Read Amos Wilson. Read Neely Fuller's book. Read these books one book at a time and teach somebody what you learn out that one book, and then repeat the process. No excuses.
I say, brother, I'd like to clone you. I don't know what part of heaven you snuck here from, but I'm glad as hell they let you come play with us.
I was thinking the same thing, you know, and that's the struggle that we're having today is these children can't read. They really literally cannot read in
Can't write
Washington.
either.
They
Thinking is a
cannot
hard thing.
spell and they can't read. That's a whole nother ball game, though.
But I would say this, Sister Janae, some of the youth can't read, but a lot of youth, especially brothers who've been in prison, a lot of books I try to give them this. I already read that book. I already read that book when I was in prison. I read that. What, you got anything else new? So sometimes I'm having to dig deep. But the only pushback I would give, and that is illiteracy is a problem. But a lot of times with our youth, it's not that they can't read, it's what they don't want to read or what they've been pushed away from. You know, I say this a lot in my city. A lot of these mothers and fathers would rather have their children be Bloods and Crips than Black Panthers. I'm gonna say that again. A lot of these mothers and fathers would rather have their children be
Am I
Bloods
back on,
and
family?
Crips than
Yes.
Black Panthers,
Yes.
because they saw what happened to Malcolm. They saw what happened to Huey. They saw what happened to Fred Hampton. They saw what happened to the leaders, and they say, like, you have a better chance surviving being in a gang, a street gang, than you would be a revolutionary. So, and as far as them reading, if you put something negative on Facebook right now in Durham, they will read it. They will read it. It might start a war. So they're reading. So the question is, what they're reading. Who are they reading? The same energy. They're reading a Facebook post, IG post. That same energy they can use to read a book.
I say.
Right on. Each one teach one, and I'm so grateful, Brother Pete, as he mentioned. These books are weapons. They're weapons, and we have to utilize this weapon in order to change the construct. I'm a firm believer, as a policy analyst, that we must write our way into the change. We must organize. We must discipline ourselves to have this written down. And reading is definitely underrated. It needs to be utilized more. Now we're leaning more to audiobooks, which is fine as well. But the banned books, for those who want to reach out to you, Minister Paul, how can we reach out to you for those who want to connect with you on any level?
Right, you can reach me on Facebook. You're going to see the Black Hoodie Brigade banner in the back. Min Paul Scott. Email minpaulscott@yahoo.com. and on X or Twitter at Truth Minister, like that, minister with an A.
All right. So you heard it here first on Black Power Radio. Reconnect with Minister Paul Scott. Again, he ain't new to this. He is true to this, doing full circle. And we would love to have you back on Black Power Radio at any time. Drop on by. We need to hear more of the historical moves that you made and the current plans of action that you have for our youth and our babies in 2025. So if there is any closing comments that you'd like to give to our listening audience, please, the floor is yours.
I would say it's been an honor. Everybody on this panel, I respect tremendously. I see your work. I see you on YouTube. I've been following Brother Sheik since not 2001 when he was on C-SPAN. So you all are my heroes. Brother John Kemet Shabazz, thank you so much for making sure my story is told. Brother, you need to tell your story now. I don't think I'm going anywhere anytime soon, hopefully, but the urgency is there to get the story out. It's a reality check. So I just want to thank everybody. And as far as my ministry, the Black Messiah Ministry, formerly the Black Messiah Movement, I'm going to end with the saying we always close with: stop waiting for a savior and be one. Shalom.
Yeah, thank you
Your
again,
behaviors
brother,
and your
for
behavior.
being there, and thanks for raising that C-SPAN. Everyone here should get that C-SPAN. It's our take on 9/11, and many are doing the drive-by. I think it's the most phenomenal work that has ever been done, covering down on the 9/11, the whole concept, the fake news of it, uh, the political deception of it. They are master deceivers in putting these types of things across to the public, and we're just trying to end all forms of tyranny. That is one of the worst forms of tyranny that you could ever imagine. What they did at 9/11 was public deception personified at its very finest hour, and the fraud it continues, and it was the prerequisite to the orange toupee guy bringing the first concept of fake news. Then that is a masterpiece of fake news that Pentagon didn't happen. Any physical scientist can prove to you shortly that you cannot bring down an entire 100-story building. I'm a construction engineer, and I put buildings together. I also demolition whole buildings. And you see as it comes straight down, that's a big sign when you see a whole and full, complete entire building coming straight down. And it was fake, something fake in Pennsylvania. They did a complete drive-by on everything associated with 9/11 and laid the blame on the Saddam Hussein, blame on Muammar Gaddafi, the blame on Osama bin Laden, and executed them all. This guy Bush claimed to be looking for these guys. They vilified them completely and put all the weight over in the little Obama campus, et cetera. And like you see, had to come and clean up all of these guys' mess. But we need to break with those traditions. We need to now see that there is no future at the Congressional Black Caucus for any black man, for any black child, or for any of our black children. Any of our women, men, women, or children should be warned to stay away from the Democrat Party. Stay away from the Congressional Black Caucus. Let them know that you have established a new traditions, new politics. You have abandoned them in the old tradition and come alive with new politics, science, and economics. And when you break that tradition, we're asking you to leave them hanging onto a Chad as you move on into your family value system, your politics, your own sexuality, spirituality, your own brand of politics, and certainly with your own diet. And I'll rest my case and say, my Paul Scott, it's a pleasure having you here. You're the best that ever did it, and continue with your activism throughout the North Carolina and around the world. And we can't do nothing but embrace you. We'll be black there soon to help more disaster victims know that region from Atlanta all the way to to Washington, D.C. really is devastation along the coast. People are still without water and power along there. You can see yourself comfortable in your fine major city, but when you drive out in those rural areas, people don't have water and power, food, clothing, shelter, and transportation. I land my plane. Hope there's a lot of success in all your endeavors. Assalamu alaikum and Black Power. Black Power.
Thank you,
Thank you
Sheikah.
so much.
Thank you,
Black
Walaikum
Power.
Sheikah.
salam, Black Power,
And
Black
Black
Dr.
Power.
Power.
Truth Bay, thank you so much for a wonderful show as well. Appreciate you, sister.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, we
All right.
appreciate you. So join us tomorrow, family,
Salute, Brother
Black Power
Scott. Salute.
Radio. We will be discussing the 6th region, the African Union. Oh, yes. Some shit went down last week, family, and we got to talk about it tomorrow, December 2nd. So join us same bat time, same bat channel, right here on Busy One Entertainment, Busy One Radio, and the Black Business Network. So we say again, Black family, stay black, stay revolutionary, and join us tomorrow right here on Black Power Radio. It is your friendly neighborhood policy.
My headphones at, man. I don't know.
And before
Turn
we
my
go,
radio up a
don't
little.
forget that in 2025, let's use global African liberation as our individual focus for the whole African family. Global African liberation. That's not to belittle the African woman, because she is the mother of civilization. GAL stands for Global African Liberation. Stop being selfish Negroes and look at our whole picture, not just the one they want to focus us on. Hotep. Black Power.
Black Power.
Black Power, y'all.
Black Power, Black Power. Salute.
I used to read that Word Up magazine. Back then when Wu-Tang was talking cream, I remember when I ain't know about the music, but watching Mike Jack show Tiny how to do it. Now Brenda's got a baby, that's with my mom playing Baby's Got Back. I ain't even having sex yet. Now it's 9-4 for the love of the money. Bone thugs, fast flows, them Ohio boys hungry. Yeah, I came up in them times, just sitting in my room drinking milk, writing rhymes. Bling, bling, Juvie said, back that ass up, and Wayne was like, wobbly, wobbly, what? Yeah, I'm a hip-hop head, and if you getting hip-hop money, it's hip-hop feds. So make sure that your game is tight, and it's cool to freestyle, but you always right, cuz sitting in my room, I let my radio yeah, I'm in my room, I let my radio sitting in my room, I let my radio I'm in my Hip-hop graduated from the old days. Everybody got dreads. What happened to braids? What happened to crisscross? And people trying to jump. Know every male young thugs ride with pumps. That ain't hip-hop. You're like flip-flop. I'm a classic rapper like Dre's Detox. Hey, I'm Tiny Lee. I done been in a group, but niggas get discharged like military troops. I'm all alone, like the hot boys left. I got metal keep gear and I'm solid self. I love hip-hop people and I got the juice. You can try to play Raheem and I'll Bishop shoot. That's a problem. Every rapper a killer. Every rapper getting money and they say they the nigga. Well, I'm a broke rapper and I don't be in the trap. But when it come to spitting bars, I'm hip-hop with that. Cause sitting in my room, I let my radio yeah, I'm in my room, I let my radio sitting in my room, I let my radio yeah, I'm in my room.